So you've mentioned that your dad wasn't very enamored of religion after learning about his mom, but that you guys had a religious education. Did you? How about the neighborhood that you grew up in? What was it like? Was it predominantly Jewish? And just tell us a little bit about the neighborhood you grew up in.
Okay, well, I would say our neighborhood, there were basically two neighborhoods we grew up in, and generically, I refer to the Ocean Avenue as one set, Ocean Parkway as another. Ocean Parkway wasn't quite as upscale as Ocean Avenue. It was pretty upscale, but not that. The street we lived on, Ocean Parkway, had a bridle path, and that's just what you would think it was. It was for horses. People would rent horses at the park and go riding on the bridle path. When I crossed the street, I had to cross over and not step on the horse manure. And then on the other side was another path, and that was the bicycle path. And people used to get their bikes and ride on the bicycle path. Now, I never owned a bike.
Ladies in the long dresses that you see?
We didn't have long dresses.
Well, no, but the ladies who would, no.
Well,
I'm
no.
40 years too behind.
I wore, skirts, saddle shoes, and ladies wore regular. They didn't wear the long things. I'm not that old.
We're not antebellum.
Or when you were a kid, when you used to say to me, well, in olden times, did you have radios?
My son asked me recently, did they have balls when you were a kid?
Anyway, so my neighborhood, the Ocean Parkway one was, as I said, but it was 5 miles long. Up at the end, closer to Prospect Park, you've probably heard of Prospect Park. It was a little more elegant and upscale. And down at the other end, it got closer to Coney Island, and it was less upscale. And it was more ethnically Jewish, I would say. And in the high holidays, when we would be out of school, Ruthie and I would be the two kids who were out of reform services. The other kids were all more Orthodox. And I think that religion might have played a more important part in their life. One thing we were always eating Jews. We always kept all of the eating traditions, and my grandmother could cook, up to the nines, everything. We always had. Now my mom was a fine cook too. Don't get sorry, Dorothy. don't get me wrong, but the all of the traditions, gefilte fish being one outstanding one, were observed clearly in the feasts that went along.
Did you have a sense of being part of a minority religion, and what about?
When I first moved to where we went to, in this one neighborhood on Ocean Parkway, there was a kid who lived in another apartment right 2 doors down from mine. And I used to play with him, Andrew somebody or other. And I remember quite vividly when I was about 7 or 8 years old, we were playing something, and I either hit him with the ball or I did something to his disadvantage. And I remember his saying to me, blah, 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 you dirty Jew, you. And I had never been called a dirty Jew. I didn't know quite what to do. So I fashioned my own response. I said, well, you dirty Christian, you.